Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to FM21. This is Zero to Hero. It's episode number 8. We're ready to kick off season number 4. We've now gone 2 straight seasons with titles and promotions. That puts us into the 8th tier now. And the result is our reputation has grown significantly. We were literally the last team on the list in the opening season. After that second season, we moved up a little bit. And now after the third season, we're still obscure. We're still half-star. And there's actually a huge gap between where we're at now and even just getting to a local reputation and getting to a 1-star level reputation. But we've made some significant progress. We've passed 25% of all English teams through our efforts of the last couple of seasons. So long way to go. I mean, you could see that it's still half-star obscure as we move up the list. Way up the list. Not to the top of the list. There we go. Actually, there's the breaking point. So it's the top quarter where you finally get out of obscure and up to local. So we've got to pass another 50% of all clubs in England just to get to a local reputation. So our work is far from done. You can see here is the breaking point where we actually finally get to 1-star level. And that's that top 20% or so. Here's where we get to 1.5, still local. Barrow at the end of that list. Here's regional, 1.5. There's the 2 stars. And at the top of this thing, Man United has overtaken Liverpool as the most reputable club with a worldwide reputation. Man City also at that 5-star level. Chelsea, Tottenham at the 4.5. Arsenal just 4 stars. Just continental. And their reputation actually improved. And they barely squeezed into the top 6. Everton, quite close. Consistently, pretty much 7th or 6th place every season. But just on the outside looking in. Leicester also cracks the 4 stars this season. Still national in reputation, but good move for them. They continue to improve and stay steady after their shock 2016 season. The dream season for anybody outside of the Big Six. They've cemented themselves among the most developed, reputable teams in the nation. Wolves, Brighton, good to see them up there as well. As we're set to begin our 4th season, we're going to look back at a few things, see how far we've come, and then set ourselves up for the season opener. I remember season 1, we started off literally the worst. We were getting pummeled. We got that first youth intake late in the season, middle of March. Didn't come a moment too soon, as on the final day of the season, we were able to overtake a single club to get out of last place. And then the next season, we went and won that 10th division championship. And then a year later, we claimed a second straight championship in the 9th division, and we find ourselves now into the 8th tier. Now, our reputation was literally 1 out of 10,000. It's now 675. That's a very significant jump from where we were. But considering it's out of 10,000, there is a long way still to go. We see club attendance is looking to go up this year from what it was. And of course, we still have our perfect facilities and essentially nothing else. I still have a very subpar coaching team. And as the lead coach, the head coach of the team, I'm not a whole lot better than those around me. Reality is probably not at all. Motivating, working with youngsters. Youngsters were the only things that were above a 1 when we started. These were both at 6. They're now both at 11, so I've picked up 5 points in each of those. Everything else was a 1. So man management now an 8, discipline a 6. We're getting there. Determination a 6, mental, technical, right? These are still very low scores. All of this, though, with only gaining a single coaching badge. We only have a National B license. The club, for whatever reason, every off-season I keep requesting to get more training, which would help us with our coaching attributes. They keep denying. It's like they're afraid of losing me, is the message I keep getting. They want to keep me humble, to keep me at the club for longer, which I'm not a fan of. I'd really like to get those higher licenses so that I could actually help the players develop. What they don't realize is I'm not going anywhere. Amazingly, after 3 years of coaching the squad, I've actually only managed to coach 8 matches so far. So 6 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss in that time, including season opener that first year where we absolutely got pummeled. We've been 19 points out of 21 possible since then. Slightly different look to the squad this season. Our top 3, well, it was a top 4, but we did lose our man, $275,000 for that deal, which was nice, but we did lose Michael Lambert just 4 days ago now, and he will be sorely missed as he just turned 18 now with the Western Sydney Wanderers, and he's going to instantly be a regular starter for their team. You can see overall, I've lost 5 other players just since the beginning of this season, just since late June. I've brought 3 of them back by force, but Sam Fenn is gone. Dylan McManus, I didn't realize that he had just left. That's not one that I want to lose, so we're going to go ahead and bring back McManus as well. Back to the club where he belongs. Put him on a contract. I don't know why he would have signed anyway. It's weird when it does that. To me, that's a gremlin in the game. And then I have to go forward in time before I can remove any limitations there were from releasing him. There we go. Because we're not allowed to sign anyone. So they are barred from ever becoming registered, even if we don't need registration. Remember, we have that 80-year transfer ban. Had a couple players away on international duty. One of them just getting back today, though he did play a couple days ago, so he's probably not going to be fit for 90 minutes. The other one, not back yet, so unavailable. And they are both central midfielders. So we're going to be a little weak at that position today. We're also a little bit weaker in the defense as our Australian player, I keep forgetting his name. Anyway, his departure left a huge vacuum as I don't have any other left backs in the U23s or U18s of any type of quality. McGregor, the tired one. Looks like he's already tired half an hour into this one. Phil Skalness. It's blocked, comes back out. Bridges, his cross is cleared. And here comes the counterattack from Sheffield. Holmes recovers the ball. Out to Jameson. Jameson, long ball ahead. But it's cleared. We reset. McGregor, Elliott, long ball. Phil Skalness, great control. Beats 3 guys to get that shot off. And it goes out for a corner kick. Kerr in the side. Replacing our absent individual. We approach halftime, and the shots are only 3-2. We are not dominating this in any way, shape, or form. Jameson nearly picks that one up and gets off to the races, but he doesn't. They end up with a long cross that we get to. Phil Skalness can outrun his man. He gets there first. Nice ball in, and Jameson scores. First goal of the season. That one came almost out of nowhere. Quick, heavy counterattack. Nice ball, long ball over the top. Phil Skalness never should have gotten there first. He's not even that fast of a player, but he was much faster than that fullback. And his simple cross in, Jameson just reacts quicker than the defenders. He shouldn't have gotten there first either. Higher division, that's never going to happen. That ball's going to get picked off twice, really. First ball over the top. I mean, even Harry Kane's not going to get to that one first from that far away. And then the cross. Never should have gotten to first. Never should have gotten there first on that one either, as the defense should have reacted and cleared it away. Interesting stadium here with the building right out the back corner. We struggled through the half for a bit, but you can see just how much we've taken control of it. Second half underway. McGregor, not much energy. He's not going to last much longer. We're going to have to sub him out pretty soon. But we'll give him 10 minutes or so here in the second half. Nice ball. Oh, great slide to block that one. And then we block the second attempt after they recovered. But White's quick counter move turns into a quick giveaway. Great tackle there. Send that one out for the corner. That was a clear chance. Hurst heads this one away. Can Skelnis get there first? He does, and he's fouled, and it's a yellow. Shot's just 5-4, and we're hitting that time where it is time. McGregor is very, very tired. Time to substitute him off. Burns, the man to step in his place. Hoey forced to make a nice save on that one. Quick counter as I'm setting up the substitution. Shots are 5 apiece now, though. We are not dominating this in any way. Jameson nearly makes it his second of the season. Almost set up that brace. It was a great free kick. Jameson didn't have the best angle, though. The keeper made a nice stop, and then he got a second chance at it. And there's Skelnis. That was flicked on by Jameson. Skelnis, it looked like it took a double tap. I think his initial was blocked, came right back to him. Is that what? Oh, no, it was a clearance. So Jameson's ball does not make it to Skelnis. It made it to a defender, but his clearance goes right off Skelnis' leg, who then picks up the rebound from that and just slots it right into the bottom corner to make it 2-0. Whoa, what a save from Hoey. Shot should have been better, though. It was right at the keeper's feet. That clearance doesn't get very far, and it took us a couple tries to get that one out of there. Team really not looking so dominant today in any way, shape, or form from what we've seen the last couple of seasons. We are moving up to a higher division. Better opponents, and it's starting to show. I don't know if we're in for a 100-point season this year. Nice setup. I think we're still favored to win the league, and we'll have to go back after this first game and check what the preseason predictions in the league are, where they have us placed. But we're definitely at 7 solid players and still lacking 4 other positions. We let him turn the corner there. That was poor defense. Luckily, he had no angle and no one else to lay that one off to. White not having the best day and pretty tired. That's Fenton or Sharples. We'll go Sharples. That's our second sub. We got a lot of guys that are a bit tired now. Anyone who's having a horrible day, Bridges, is having a really bad day. Make up for it here. He lays that one off for Kerr. Burns, it's the first shot I've seen him take in person, and he skied it. Hurst with the free kick. Long ball. Skelnis. Didn't have a great angle. Had to go for the near corner, and he was perfectly on target with that one and got decent power on it. He just couldn't have done much more than what he did with that one. Lehman was in a good, strong position. Was easily able to make the save. Here we go. Laying this one off. We set it up. That's it. Time up. 2-0. 3 points to start the season. Not dominating in any way. I mean, the XG was just 1.32. Shots were just 14-11. But 80% pass completion, 51% possession on the road. So it's still a good result. Dream 11 for the league still contains our core 7 players that are at their best. Of course, that's one down from a season ago, so can we get the job done? Of course, we have that huge transfer fee that we picked up for Lambert. Moment of the season so far. Key players in the league, Hurst and Holmes. And we are odds-on favorite by a very wide margin, 1-91. Apparently, they think we're going to easily repeat. Sheffield, who we just beat in the opener, is actually picked as one of the top 3 teams in the league. So that makes a little more sense that they put up a pretty good challenge for us in that game, but ultimately we were able to come out on top and grab the goals that we needed. If that's the best we're going to face, then this season's looking pretty good for us. So after cruising the last couple of seasons, we are now going to face some serious adversity in this next season. Our chances of winning the league have been greatly diminished. We had a core of 8 players that were quality players, and that core was absolutely carrying us. We knew we were losing Michael Lambert. That was done last season. It went through 1st of August, but it got a whole lot worse on deadline day. Brentford swept in, picked Ashley Hurst away from us for a deal approaching $375,000 later on. And McGregor as well has been swept up by Middlesbrough, $475,000 for that deal. As a team, the combined up front is $650,000. The eventual is over $1 million for those 3 deals. Sure, that is great for the coffers, but we don't get any replacements. We can't go out and spend. We have an 77-year transfer ban. We have to replace through our youth academy, and we don't have those kind of replacements right now. So our core just shrunk to 5 players, plus a goalkeeper that we have signed this last season that's a backup to already a good goalkeeper. Hoey's now our second best player. And Aspinall, the other goalkeeper we brought in, is the only player from this latest youth intake that's set to have any sort of impact. But he's not going to have an impact as a backup to Hoey. He's got more potential than Hoey. He's going to have to be a starter to get there. He's going to have to develop a little bit through playing U23s. He doesn't have to necessarily hit a 97. But if he hits a low 90 and is almost as good, then I could give that justification to put him up there. But Hoey's some good rating, good training. Why would we take him away? But just 4 matches into the season, and things are suddenly looking different. And I've got some holes in the lineup to fill. We had already filled one of those holes, but now we've got to fill a couple more. I've got some players here to do that, but it's definitely not the same quality. Barreto was the one who was away on international duty that's back, so we could at least get him back into the side. But McManus, I guess, is the other one. Also, we're already not even in a position of leading the league. We've had 1 draw in those first 4 matches. Belper, perfect record so far. We find ourselves in second place, and that was with 7 of the 8 core. Now we only have 5 of those 8. Tough season potentially ahead of us. We're not going to be a bad team. That's suddenly not going to drop us off the radar entirely. But as dominant as we were, no way we're hitting 100 points this season. And we could be at jeopardy of whether we win the league or not. The board's going to blame me for that, while their pockets are full of money. But that's okay. I can't be fired anyway. And we continue on and we continue to develop. And we take our next youth intake, and hopefully, finally, because since the first season, we haven't really added another youth intake that's had an impact yet. We filled out a couple pieces really to the bench, and that's been it in the last 2 youth intakes. Let's go ahead and push forward 6 weeks and see how the team does. Will they overcome this adversity, or will they struggle a bit? Now into October, and you could see just how tight things are compared to a season ago. Though, admittedly, there is a bit of a gap to third place. Belper, just 1 point behind us. That difference being we've had a single draw, they've had a single loss. So we are winning, but it's a much closer matches. Goal differential is plus 16 right now. And considering we have 0 losses, we've never been outscored in a match. So with that kind of record, plus 16 is not that great through 9 matches. It really isn't. We are averaging a 2-goal victory, but some of those came through those first 4 matches. I think about half of our goal difference. So it's definitely tighter. So far, though, we're still getting the job done. It's a lot closer than it was, and I could see us slipping up here and there, with definitely taking some more losses than a season ago. So far so good. Let's see if the squad is developing at all. So Hoey nearly to 100. Barreto is rapidly developing now, playing in the midfield as a key starter. Bridges also getting close. So we're nearly back up there into that core of getting a few players above 100. That's nice. Phil Skelnis now up to 90, so he's catching up and starting to get quite good. Aspinall's kind of stalled on an 81 as a backup who's not getting first team action. But McManus is into the starting squad now, and I think he's picked up a couple points already. Lee Williams into the starting squad and has played relatively well, and he's starting to develop, picked up 4 or 5 points. But George White's still down there at the bottom. Does surprisingly well considering how poor he is, but he's kind of being lifted up by the team around him. Adam Elliott, one we're hoping can start developing pretty rapidly, because those guys are really hurting us in the overall sense. Now that those core players are gone and they are the replacements, it's a definite step down. But so far so good. Let's go ahead and push forward another 6 weeks and see if we could still hang on. Middle of November. Yes, we have suffered a defeat through this period, so that's already a big sign of we're not flawless. But we have opened up a little bit of a lead. A lot of that, though, came down to having a home match against Belper and winning. So we beat the second-place team, who themselves actually have fallen off a bit. Mickleover, who I can't help but draw comparisons to McLovin, now just 1 point adrift in third place. They've only had one loss, but they struggle to find the net enough times to really pull off too many victories, as they only have 7 wins in 14 tries. That is kind of opening the pathway for us, currently anyway, to pull away with the league a little bit. Phil Skalnis, 18 goals in 14 matches. Not quite the same record he had a season ago, but actually not far from it. I mean, he played, 41 matches last season and had 52 goals. So, yeah, actually, that's pretty similar. 8.09 rating. Barreto also up there in third. Phil Skalnis also adding 8 assists. His development has been very key to our continued, I wouldn't say dominance, but almost dominance in this 8th tier. 6 more weeks. We're not going to go too far this season. Maybe 2 more stops. While we're facing some adversity, losing a few key players, we have enough. We do have enough. 14-point lead, 19 games in. It's a 20-team league, so we're at the exact halfway point. Plus 41 goal differential. Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine as long as we don't lose any more in January anyway, because I think that could be the tipping point. We're still pulling out results. Some of the matches are definitely closer, but while we're not as dominant as we were, we're still in good shape. So I think we'll be fine this season as long as we don't pull 2 or 3 major injuries from the 5 core players, and or if any more or are poached away in the January transfer window. So as long as we can hang on to them and they stay healthy, we'll be fine in the league this season. But we definitely need a good intake to start replacing these guys. We're in the 8th division. The competition is not that tough, not that good. 7th division, you could expect mostly the same. Once we start hitting that 6th tier and above, though, it's going to rapidly start getting significantly better. These bottom divisions are often one and the same. There's no real money in it. Once you start getting into the paid professional teams, that's where it's going to be a whole different matter. So hopefully we can continue to cruise through this season. We'll do one more check-in in end of January, early February, and that'll set us up for the youth intake that follows that. Picking up 2 losses in the last 6 matches has not been good for our lead in the league, and showing that vulnerability that we do have. It's all been relatively close, though the latest loss on the road was by 2 goals. The lead slips to 13, but that's not bad, and we're far enough along. We're winning enough matches. I do still think we're going to be comfortable for this season. The next stopping point will be the upcoming youth intake, and after 2 lackluster years in that intake, can we bounce back? Can we get a couple players at least that are going to be ready to contribute within the squad? Because the squad, well, those 5 core players are all from the first year. I think Barreto might have been from the second year. It's possible. I wouldn't try to push that one past you if that wasn't the case. So maybe on Barreto. But outside of that, Aspinall I know was the most recent, but Aspinall hasn't even, he's had 2 matches. Great player. But he's got somebody in front of him who is one of our best. tough to get that much more. Harry Jewell's still not developing, but we've seen positive signs in his personality changes recently. So hopefully through that we can start to see him develop, because he does have potential. There are a couple players here. Adam Elliott was one who was in the low 40s. He has moved up, so he's starting to make some progress. Our replacement for Lambert, nowhere near the quality of Lambert, and he's never going to get to where Lambert was, but I think he could be a decent starter for us given another season or so. There is progress out there. There's good signs. It wasn't all bad this season, but it's definitely not all good either. Last season's record, I do think we're going to come up short, but considering what we lost, we're hanging in there pretty well. That does it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.